Good morning, everyone. I want to start with a question that sounds simple but isn't. What is actually happening right now inside your head? Not the biology, not neurons firing or blood flow to the prefrontal cortex. I mean the experience of being you, reading these words in this room at this moment. That experience is the starting point for everything I want to talk about today, because the human mind isn't one single thing. It's a map, six connected regions that, together, produce something no other known system produces: a person. Let me walk you through that map. Branch 1 is consciousness, and it's the root of everything else. Consciousness isn't just processing information. A thermostat processes information. Consciousness is experiencing it. There is something it is like to see the color red, to feel pain, to taste coffee. We can measure brain activity with extraordinary precision now, down to the firing of individual neurons. And yet the felt, subjective quality of experience still slips through our instruments. Scientists call this the hard problem of consciousness, and it remains unsolved. We know a great deal about the correlates of experience. We still don't know how or why experience arises at all. Branch 2 grows directly out of the first, self-awareness. This is the leap from simply having experiences to recognizing that you are the one having them. I am the one thinking this. Self-awareness is what makes metacognition possible. Thinking about your own thinking, reflecting on a memory, planning for a future self, feeling regret about a past one. Researchers test for a version of this in animals with the mirror test. Does the creature recognize the reflection as itself? Because we can hold a past or future version of ourselves in mind and evaluate it, something remarkable becomes possible: self-improvement. You cannot deliberately become a better version of yourself unless some part of you can already picture what that better version looks like. Branch 3 is language and writing, and it branches directly off self-awareness. Because you cannot externalize a thought you're not aware of having. Speech lets us share thoughts in real time. Writing does something more radical. It stores thought outside the brain entirely, for later, for strangers, for people not yet born. Writing is what freed human knowledge from the fragile chain of oral memory passed parent to child. It's also why one person's idea can build on another's across centuries. This is how we got science and law and shared stories. And there's a quieter benefit too. Putting a vague idea into words forces it into a structured, logical shape. That's the actual mechanism behind why journaling helps you think more clearly. Writing isn't just recording thought, it's a tool for producing it. Branch 4 is memory, and it doesn't sit off to the side. It supports every other branch on this map. Memory comes in at least two flavors: short-term working memory, the mental scratch pad that holds a few things actively in mind, and long-term consolidated memory, which stores experience and knowledge across a lifetime. Here's why memory matters more than it might seem. It's what makes self-awareness continuous. Without memory, there is no persistent you moving through time, just a series of disconnected present moments. Memory is the thread that turns a sequence of experiences into a life. Branch 5 is emotion and motivation, the engine room. Emotion is the fast lane. It guides decisions faster than deliberate logic ever could. An evolutionary shortcut built for split-second survival long before we had time to reason our way to an answer. Motivation is the driver behind that engine. Curiosity, the pull toward social bonding, fear. These are the forces that push humans to create things, to write things down, to explore what's over the next hill. Strip away emotion and motivation, and you don't get a purely rational human. You get a human with nothing pulling them toward anything at all. And branch 6, and the closing branch, is the social mind. Humans didn't evolve alone. We evolved in groups, and that shaped the architecture of our thinking. Empathy, and what psychologists call theory of mind, the understanding that other people have their own separate private thoughts, different from yours, aren't add-ons bolted onto human intelligence. They're core to it. So that's the map. Consciousness at the root, self-awareness growing from it, language and writing branching from self-awareness, memory threading through all of it, emotion and motivation powering the whole system, and the social mind closing the loop by turning individual cognition into shared cultural intelligence. I've framed this talk for an AI audience on purpose, because this map is also where human minds and artificial intelligence visibly diverge. An AI system can process and generate language with real fluency, but it doesn't have a continuous self across time the way memory gives us. Each conversation, in a real sense, starts fresh. It isn't driven by felt emotion, it's driven by goals. And whether there is any subjective, felt experience behind the outputs at all is, as far as we currently know, an open question. Arguably the same hard problem I started with, just facing a new kind of mind. I don't think that comparison is a knock against AI, and it isn't meant as human self-congratulation either. I think it's the most useful reason to actually understand this map. We built machines that are extraordinarily good at one branch of this tree, language, without first fully understanding the other 5 branches it grew out of in us. Understanding our own minds isn't just self-reflection for its own sake. It's the clearest lens we have for understanding what we've built, what we haven't built yet, and what we might be missing. Thank you.